Lisa left her corporate K-pop throne promising absolute artistic freedom, but she allegedly became America's most expensive generic pop star instead. The internet is officially calling out the total collapse of the alter ego era. First-week album sales under her independent label reportedly hit a modest 28,000 traditional copies in the US. That is a brutal reality check compared to her peak group numbers. Social media immediately roasted her cringe-worthy villain persona, Vixie, calling the branding completely forced and deeply immature. The massive backlash started cooking during the recent World Cup, where her official anthem, Goals, completely missed the assignment. Football fans are slamming the track as a glorified club song, noting the lyrics are entirely self-absorbed and braggy. Critics on X and Reddit are heavily debating whether escaping her original company was actually a multi-million-dollar marketing mistake. Why did the West's most anticipated independent soloist instantly turn into a synthetic industry afterthought? Let's look at the actual receipts. Now let's talk about the infamous World Cup anthem because the timeline is getting messy. The track dropped and immediately split the internet into two very loud sides. Casual listeners claimed it is just a decent club song, but real football fans are completely losing their minds. They are calling the lyrics insanely bad and unapologetically self-absorbed. Viral TikToks are demanding to know how an artist ruins a sporting anthem. A true tournament track represents global unity, pride, passion, and football culture. Yet her team approached it like a regular self-promotional solo track. But like I said, respecting the event matters more than forcing a personal brand. Iconic World Cup songs like Shakira's classic understood the assignment perfectly. They made the international event feel much bigger than the individual artist. Instead, this track literally repeats the word goals 8 times in a row. It feels like pure filler text written by a corporate committee. Verse 1 just doubles down on clubbing, expensive outfits, cars, and cash. It is a carbon copy of generic male rap tropes. And it's like, if this braggy lifestyle fails the sports vibe, the backlash is fully earned. Anyway, the public reaction on Reddit is bordering on pure secondhand embarrassment. A discussion post asking for honest thoughts gathered hundreds of upvotes instantly. One user stated her songs are only about money, bodies, and being better than everyone. Another comment noted that the whole concept comes off arrogant and lacks a genuine FIFA vibe. People are genuinely asking why a soccer anthem discusses body goals and popping bottles. The core demographic wanted motivational team spirit and basic humanity, not generic club music. And it's like, she is absolutely no stranger to intense online controversy. A little while ago, her team announced her edgy new alter ego on X. The announcement post generated over 60 million views but got clowned relentlessly. The official description listed her sign as Scorpio and her aura as red. Her favorite drink is allegedly listed as your tears. Online spaces instantly roasted the concept as completely immature, forced, and hollow. Even her dedicated fan base admitted on Twitter that the rollout was a corporate misfire. Now let's look at the actual data behind her quest for the West. Numbers do not lie. Her full studio album, Alter Ego, reportedly sold around 30,000 copies on day one. The project features Western heavyweights like Max Martin, Ryan Tedder, Rosalia, and Megan Thee Stallion. Her team lined up massive marketing placements like an HBO acting debut and Coachella. Yet, the commercial impact remains incredibly underwhelming compared to the massive industry hype. When your previous group hits cleared 1 billion streams on Spotify, a low domestic debut is a flop. But like I said, bad branding kills even the most expensive musical project. Pop critics are pointing out that her post-corporate music strategy signals a desperate mainstream cash grab. Her songs are entirely in English, and her collaborators are strictly Western. She gets endless media placements but has sanded down her unique edges. She entered a highly competitive Western market already saturated with generic pop stars. By copying everyone else, she lost the exact trait that made her a global phenomenon. Anyway, a viral TikTok with over 1 million likes recently exposed her brand image. The creator pointed out that her management is forcefully marketing her as a hard-hitting rapper. But K-pop-style rap rarely translates well to a mainstream Western audience. Western listeners value organic street credibility, not heavily manufactured personas. The public already knows her as a highly polished socialite and a rich girl from Thailand. Trying to force a tough Doja Cat rap formula onto her identity is an absolute disaster. The sudden change feels incredibly synthetic to longtime viewers, and it's like, why did she completely stop doing what she does best? For years, she stood out as the main dancer with unmatched stage presence. Fans spent an entire decade begging for her release from corporate restrictions. They promised she would show off her elite dance skills once she went independent, but now that she has complete creative freedom, the choreography has completely vanished. Her modern performances are routinely reduced to just walking across a stage looking expensive. Now let's compare this to her peak era under her old management back in 2021. Her debut solo single under the corporate label broke historic YouTube records within 24 hours. The project moved over 700,000 copies in its first week in South Korea alone. Ironically, her highest level of fan investment happened under the exact machine everyone hated. Being in a tight corporate unit successfully covered her individual vocal weaknesses. Once she stepped outside that protective bubble, her artistic narrative flattened completely. Furthermore, her new strategy relies entirely on Western distribution networks like RCA Records under Sony. She completely abandoned the Asian music market structures that solidified her early career numbers. Industry insiders are analyzing how independent companies struggle with global public relations without major studio backing. Her new label, Loud, handles her global image but lacks veteran agency experience. The sudden shift left her without a core artistic signature for Western media outlets. This corporate friction directly explains why her highly publicized mainstream crossover feels entirely fragmented. One day she presents herself as a high-fashion runway model for global luxury brands. The next day she pushes a forced Western streetwear image through generic TikTok dance challenges. This constant back-and-forth branding makes it impossible for new fans to understand her artistic message. Mainstream audiences can instantly spot an over-engineered corporate product. By attempting to appeal to absolutely everyone, she successfully alienated her entire original fan base. In addition, her recent live television performances completely solidified these growing artistic criticisms online. Viewers pointed out that her vocals sounded heavily processed and lacked any real emotional depth. Her team clearly prioritizes high-budget stage visuals over delivering an actual high-quality live musical experience. Expensive metallic bodysuits and backup dancers can no longer distract audiences from a completely mediocre vocal delivery. The internet is officially fatigued by pop stars who offer nothing but endless consumer aesthetic. Without a genuine artistic narrative, the hype surrounding her solo career is officially running out of steam. Visuals can only carry an independent brand so far when the underlying music lacks a cohesive identity. Turn out, the corporate machine was carrying the actual weight of the brand much more than anyone expected. Can a global pop star truly survive in the competitive American market using pure spectacle without a real story? Or is she permanently trapped in a generic, overmarketed flop era? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.